can print as books. 3D printers can print more complicated stuff like buildings, right? Or maybe smartphones. But one thing that gives us an opportunity to create just to push one button, it's camera, right? Photo camera. Guys, all of you have a mobile phone, and on your mobile phone already installed photo camera. You are artists. Yeah, you know? Just push the button and you have a picture, right? Did you know it? No? I know I make a discovery for you. But my story began 7 years ago when my parents gave me a certificate to just a basic photography course. Casual stuff, boring. Man who was talking about diaphragm, shutter speed, and sensitive materials on the back of the matrix. It is complicated stuff, you know? Pretty not very interesting. But in a few days, I just dive into this material and was really eager about photography, and it was just the beginning. It was just the core of everything else. And next 6 years, I was reading books about painting, because photography becomes from painting and then becomes videography. I mean, cinema comes from photography. Many pictures, this high speed is cinema, okay? One picture is photography, got it? And I read a lot of books. I watched a lot of materials on YouTube, and even in English. I barely understand these English speakers, but I was eager to understand how they made these pictures, you know? Really beautiful landscapes, maybe some portraits with the women, with interesting colors of skin, and interesting edit, you know. And I tried a lot of styles. I tried portrait photography, I tried sport photography, I tried reportage photography. I even tried, I know all of you tried this. Just, you find beautiful flower on the ground, yeah? Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, I can, yeah? Raise your hand, please. Be honest with me, at least. Thank you. And I choose one style that makes me feel more like an artist, you know? Artist who can create something that people in the future will be valued. And this is street photography. And to make long story short, street photography is about casual. It's about everything that happened on the street in a public place, right? Everything that happened with you every day, from home to work and from work to home. And even though you're just having a coffee in cafeteria, right, Vasily? After work. And discovering this type of photography, this field, I read one book, and basically there are few pieces of advice how to become a good photographer, but come on, it's just the rules you can follow or not to follow and still create a piece of art. And the first step, by the way, about technology. This is my phone, and I can show you a presentation. Good, isn't it? The first rule, right? In case you just put your phone from your pocket and want to make some great picture, right? You have to pay attention to light, because light creates a shape. For instance, you can see this cup, and light from this source just create a shape. We can see the shadow, we can see the highlight, we can see the blinks, but it's just a basic explanation. And the next thing is composition. Composition is orientation, is combination of different objects in your frame, you know. And the last thing, and more above, because street photography is about now, and you capture the moment in history, just making picture of street. The main advantage of digital cameras, that cameras present all of details you have. It presents clothes that people wear. It presents all advertisement on a background, and it presents culture and history of today. And people in 10 years, in 20 years, will evaluate and maybe make some research based on your photography, on your Instagram account, right? And I just want to show a few pictures. This is a subway station Lva Tolstogo. You might notice it. And this is black and white style, and I started from black and white because black and white photos create a shape, create understanding of objects, and just interesting combination of different objects. Yeah, I'm a pretty brave person and can capture people from the back. Just a mall. Yeah, combination of black and white. And my main topic of interest, this is subway. After you deal with the black and white photography, you can move on. Move on to color. Because color gives an information to you. Gives an information about objects, about people. And later I started playing with the color. You can barely see, but columns are green. Ladies are red. Yeah, again, people. Maybe some abstract photography. My favorite one. Okay, one of my favorite ones. Yellow cars. Yeah, rainbow in a subway.
It's called sad people.
You can see green, yellow, red, blue, purple. Yeah, just play with the colors. Just notice red and yellow, picture it. Notice white and green, picture it. Some interesting stuff, yeah. More cars. Plagiarism, yep.
No diversity in cars, only one color in each city. Oh, it's not in Kiev?
No, it's Paris, sorry. And pictures is just the pictures, right? And if you're interested really in developing your visual instrument, your eyes, with it, I highly recommend the books Johan the art of the color and the art of the shape, and in case you're interested in history of photography, because it's important to understand how it developed, I recommend a BBC documentary, it's Genius of Photography, right? So we can see that the art is everything, on the street, at home, at work even, but it's up to you to notice it and to capture this moment of your life.
Yesterday evening I had a chance to practice my speaking skills acquired in this club in some big sales presentations, so I was busy with preparing that speech, and today I'm speaking almost improvised speech, almost on the cuff, so I hope I will be able to pull it off, because I'm speaking about the topic I'm interested in, I'm passionate with, and this topic is mythology. And to start with, I want to try to define what is myth, which is basically doomed to fail because there are so much things to it. Normally we label something as a myth, which something is not true. Okay, let's say it's myth. Although there is much more to this. So myth is a story which is significant. It has certain important elements to it, and because of these certain important elements, it has longevity, staying power. Myths are not simple stories, they are archetypal stories. They contain plots and storylines according to which we ourselves build our lives. Although the influence is frequently invisible, it's a hidden fabric of our society, or it's a binary source code, something we don't think much about normally. I can illustrate it with a couple of examples. The first one is very simple ancient Greece family myth. Zeus was looking to have sexual encounter with Hera. He was approaching her, and she said, "Hold on, cowboy. One thing first, you need to marry me first." Zeus answered, "I agree. What is marriage?" Okay, marriage is a certain set of rules when you need to take care of me afterwards, you need to protect me, you need to stay fidel to me, and a lot of things you will learn after we go into this. And what very simple story, right? But what it tells. So first it codifies the sexuality of women. So it gives a framework for legal sexual behavior, right? Which is very important to mythology and to society in general. So all the societies were very concerned about women's sexuality. The second aspect is that it set a framework of relationship. And is it relevant to us, to our society? Of course it is relevant. We still recognize the plot where woman is passive, she accepts or rejects, man is active, he is seeking, he is trying to initiate. And in Greek mythology, this agreement, it was the first agreement ever made. So in the society, trading, colonizing, the hospitality and the maintaining a contract was very important, but you don't have any law enforcement. How do you communicate to the whole society that you need to be hospitable and you need to maintain the contract? You say, you know, these things are protected by the main god. You'd rather not mess with him. Okay? They started Trojan War because you broken the hospitality rule once. Second myth is from Icelandic saga, where main heroine, I don't remember her name, Brunhild or Esmeralda, doesn't matter. She, in order to avenge her father and her brothers killed by her husband. By the way, all the myths, they had a lot of disturbing sexual content like raping and incest, so it's okay within this area. What she did, she basically killed her children by sending them to forest to see if they are fit to the purpose of killing her husband. And no one was fit to the purpose. So she then started incestual encounter with her mad brother, survived, and delivered the child who was fit to the purpose. And he grew up to kill her husband. And once the husband was killed, she committed suicide by walking into burning house because she had no purpose in life, right? So what it tells you? It's a terrible story if you don't have this mythological context. It's a society of warrior aristocracy where you don't have, again, rule enforcement, when you don't have anything which will make you obey the law. You need to explain people somehow that revenge is the ultimate tool to make things, to maintain integrity of the society, right? Revenge. Yes, revenge. And it is more important than your life, it is more important than your children's life, it is more important than all sort of moral rules and stuff. This is you communicate through a story, through a saga, through a myth. And in our lives, we also live in a society where myths are important. So what do you think? What is the main medium to communicate the myth to the public? It's a movie, right? What is the main myth of our society? It's an American dream, from rag to riches. Yeah, it's not necessarily true. There are people who achieved high status, became billionaires through grit and perseverance and hard work. Although it's not true entirely, because normally there's a university, you come, the circles, you descend, everything is important. And normally if you are born under the carp, you will die under the carp. But if you imagine the society which does not believe that you can, through a great hard work and perseverance, to achieve something, then you have a very violent society where people would rather fight for everything rather than try to achieve it in more appropriate or socially accepted ways. Okay? I have a lot to say, but I see a green card now. What do you want to conclude? Talk. I was checking him. He just pretended not to speak English. No, I'm not a colorblind. Something. My English is old. What I want to conclude my speech is that take a look at it. Take a look at mythology, and you will recognize the very role models, the very basic mechanics, our decision making, our value framework. It came from these very, very ancient, strange stories. Thank you.
This speech was born, the topic of it was born when I was communicating with a 10th class. That is why I dedicate the speech to him. And you are going to listen a very interesting story shared with a 10th class and me. So, a long time ago, at the 7th grade, when I was at school, teacher asked me, "What do you want to achieve in life?" And I told her, "I want to achieve harmony." She looked at me as if I was crazy. I didn't know, I was 13 years old, I didn't know what is harmony, what does it include, what can it make for me, but I knew exactly I needed harmony in my life. I imagined it like this. And since then, I was collecting different tools and keys, if you will, to build the castle of harmony in my life. And you are going to hear a story about the most significant key of harmony which you can apply in your life. So, my sister, she had a surgery due to hormonal disbalance. My friend Julia had been trying to have children for 2 years due to hormonal disbalance. And the daughter of the owner of the apartment which I'm renting is undergoing the massive treatment due to hormonal disbalance. And it occurred to me that these two words, they have a massive layer of information concealed from my eyes, and I decided to find out what is this. And there is a very interesting psychologist, his name is Michael Lapkowski, and he told, "It doesn't matter what you think, it matters what you feel and what you do." And I want you to pay attention to this word feel. Because you feel, imagine the process, you feel and you do something. And your endocrine system produces hormones which are thrown into our blood system, and blood system circulates them around our body, and we have and transports them to according organs. So again, the process is the following. we feel or do something, and our endocrine system throws out some hormones into our blood, which are circulated to according organs. And the quality, maybe not the quality, the type and the number of hormones which we have in our blood will influence on our respiration, digestion, development, growth, mood, reproduction system, and so on and so forth. This is a dramatically important topic, and at school our attention was grabbed for 3 or maybe for 2 lessons studying this endocrine system, but that is the basis of how we live and what we feel and how we expose ourselves to the world. So, I want you to have this insight into the most important hormones that can open to the world of harmony. And these 2 hormones will be the hormones of happiness. And these 2 hormones, they are different for 1 minute, they are different for men and for women. So what brings happiness for a man on a regular basis doesn't bring happiness on a regular basis for a woman. And what brings happiness for a woman doesn't bring happiness on a regular basis for a man. I'm talking about testosterone. Testosterone, this is a hormone which in normal, decent level brings happiness for a man. When you achieve something, when you set goals, when you take control over the life, not only yours, but over the life of other people, when you take responsibility not only over yourself, but also for other people, when you try to influence on the world, not only on your life, but also on the life of other people. And then a normal level of testosterone is in your blood, and you feel mighty, you feel strong, you feel hero. Yes, this is what testosterone is. In women's body, we also can produce testosterone, but on a regular basis it doesn't bring a lot of happiness for us. Yes, we feel strong, we feel mighty, but we do not feel happy. But for women, oxytocin is very important. Oxytocin, this is, in other words, the hormone of love. This hormone is produced when we hug, when we smile, when we cry, when we give emotions, when we get creative, when we exercise, when we love. This is where oxytocin is born. And for men, this hormone is also produced, but on a regular basis you do not feel so happy with such a big amount of this hormone in your body. Your bellies grow, you have this beer belly, you know. This is so beautiful, but for a man this is dramatic, for a woman this is a dramatically important hormone. And after giving you this information, I want to ask you 2 questions. First question I want to ask men. Why do you cry so often to throw responsibility and control off your shoulders and steal happiness from yourself and a decent level of testosterone? And another question will be for women. Why do you want to control everything and everybody in your life and accordingly steal the level of oxytocin in your life? So, I have a wish. I don't want us to be thieves. I don't want us to steal happiness from our life. So let harmony be in our lives.
With any person's life, and I know that from my own experience. Yes, the president of the Toastmasters Club can be a drug addict. That day nothing was forecasting trouble. Only a black cat with an empty bucket crossed my way. I was going to my club meeting with joy, and suddenly I felt withdrawal. Oh, I urgently needed the dose. And my drug is not some heroin, and it's not marijuana. It's something much more addictive. Do you know what that is?
Coffee?
No, sweets! Sweets!
Freeze.
Sweets. I was in a hurry because the meeting was about to begin. So I jumped into the nearest mini market and found a good chocolate bar. But when I came to the checkpoint, there was such a big line of people that if I stood in it, I would come only to the end of the meeting. The meeting next week. And I knew that in 2 minutes I'd be getting a call from my charming and caring VP Education saying, "Mr. President, are you ashamed of yourself?" So, what to do? The chocolate bar costed only 10 hryvnias, and there was such a big line. So I even didn't have a 10 hryvnia bill in my wallet. So I asked a guy in the line to break for me a 20 hryvnia bill into 2 tens. And I jumped out of the shop, shaking the chocolate bar like a sword and shouting, "I take this chocolate bar and I leave you the 10 hryvnias," following by the dramatic shouting and yelling of the seller, "Get back here, you little line jumper!" I came to the club meeting and I was just on time to start it. And when I was introducing guests, a thought struck me like lightning. I forgot to leave the money for the chocolate. Indeed, the guy broke me the 20 hryvnia bill into 2 tens and I just put them into my wallet. Late guests were still coming and I was greeting them. "Oh, hello Sergey, hello Robert, hello Mr. Policeman." "What? Police? At our meeting?" Indeed, the 2 policemen came into the room and just like all the guests introduced themselves, they told their name, occupation and the purpose of coming here. To arrest the president. I was handcuffed and escorted out of the room with a big round of applause. "We finally got you, bastard," they said, pushing me into the car. When we were going to the police station in their car, I thought, my God, we are the best country in the world, with the best police. You can go to jail for a 10 hryvnias chocolate bar, thought I, and fainted. I woke up in a dark basement room, sitting. Nobody was there. Only the water was dropping somewhere. Drop, drop, drop. I wanted to stand up and drink it, but I couldn't. I was tied to the chair. Now I really understood what it means to be the chairperson. I started crying for help, 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 help! And in 5 minutes, a big and menacing man with mustache looking like Stalin came in. "Ah, hi, you bastard! We finally got you! Do you repent what you've done?" I didn't know what to answer, so I just answered, "Don't shoot me! I repent! It wasn't me! I wanted to pay, I just forgot! I'm a Toastmaster!" "What do you say? I will not shoot you. I'll just put you to the worst jail, and you will eat your toast on the prison toilet. You will..." Suddenly he was interrupted by a fat policeman who came in and who looked like Khrushchev and who said, "Sir, it's not him. It's the wrong guy. We found the right guy who raped the old lady." In a word, they released me and apologized, and even untied me from the chair. Still, I felt a little guilty for not paying at that shop, so in a week I decided, before the next club meeting, to come there and pay. Nothing really changed. The line was still there, with the same people. And the seller was so happy to see me. "Oh, sir, it's good you came. Would you like a cup of coffee for free?" My jaw nearly fell to the ground. "What? Why are you so kind? Is police somewhere here?" "No, sir, no police. You see, we're so kind because last time when you ran away, you left 100 hryvnias instead of 10. I drank my coffee without sugar and went to the Toastmasters meeting. Because after that entire story, I decided no sweets anymore, only Toastmasters. Thank you.
Topic session, and my first question would be what kind of movies you like, and yes, what kind of movies you prefer to watch and why? So my first question would be for if there are some experienced volunteers, no? Then I will pick up. Do you want?
I agree with that. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Table topics. Toastmistress, how's that? Yes, I'm delighted that you picked me. I was putting my hand up really rather suddenly. Yes, I'm Mike. I'm pretty ancient, very ancient, and you would expect that I'm asked what my favourite movie is. It's something which goes way back before the days we discussed testosterone, hormone, saxophone, and the movie is called Calendar Girls. Do I see recognition? What do you associate with Calendar Girls? Okay, well it used to be in an age, very politically incorrect age, when in the typically all-male environment, like a place where cars are repaired, you have a calendar to remind you of the dates. On each month you'd have a picture of some fairly young women wearing rather few clothes. Well, the tale in the Calendar Girls was where some rather more mature women decided they were actually collecting for a charity which is supporting a cancer fund, and these were middle-class, middle-aged ladies from a small Yorkshire village, and they said, do I hear a cry of recognition?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
You have? Good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
well done, Dasha. Well, I should have asked you to give the speech. You probably, I don't know, that, and these ladies, first of all, none of them were famous. None of the people who appeared in this film were famous. There was no Hollywood-style melodramatic, high-tech filming. It was all very gentle, but all with a beautiful, beautiful message of valuing the simple life and avoiding modern technology, and as I say, not mentioning anything like the red card or indeed testosterone. Thank you, madam.
And what question would you like to ask? Do you have some volunteers? I see there is some guy that is looking at me, and I'm sure he has something.
I was just practicing iPhone. Can you repeat the question, please?
I practiced it so much, so forget the question. If you could meet any star, who would it be? And would like to ask the star, the movie star, actor?
I'm sitting in my bedroom at 5 a.m. in the morning thinking what to do with my life. In 2 hours I'm about to go to work that I don't really like, but that makes a lot of money. And I know that I can't keep going this way for long. So I know that I need to consult someone who made it, someone who knows a lot of things about life, and someone who I admire. So the question that I ask myself is the question that I got from my friend. He says, whenever you're in trouble, ask yourself, what would X do? By X, he meant some person that you really admire. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what would Arnold Schwarzenegger do? Because since I was 5, my favorite type of movies, answering the previous question, was any movie with Schwarzenegger in it. Because when you're a little boy, your testosterone is starting to crank it up, and you like all the movies where you see people or monsters fight. And what I see in that movie is a guy who comes from God-forgotten place to a land of opportunities, to be precise, land of broken dreams, and he still makes it. So, imagining the amount of struggle that Schwarzenegger had to go through to get from a village in Austria to Los Angeles and becoming a movie star, then becoming a politician, and then doing all this charity work that he's doing right now, I see that all the troubles that I have, they're little pesky pieces of nothing. I didn't know what to call them. Because, really, if you think about it, the struggles that we have, if you put them into a broader context, they are not that big. So, after that, I stand up, take my backpack, put it on, go to work with the feeling of joy and... No. With the feeling that I can take it and grab it.
What movies actually can teach you, and what lessons you actually may take from the movies, and maybe it's impress you and also inspire you for life. What lessons? We have.
First of all, I want to give some small talk to our president, just to show. Thank you for the question. And can you repeat the more details about it?
What movies teach you, and for what they inspire you? So, what lessons you usually take from the movies?
Okay. So, the point about movies, why do we like, everybody likes movies, right? Right?
Yeah.
And my question is why? Do you know why? Because movies is other people's life. And when we watch these movies, we like live this life together. And it's always an opportunity for us to get more knowledge, to get more impressions. And you know, like everybody likes it. Because we extend our existence through this. Actually, there are many theories how our life works, and also there are like parallel realities, like movies like Avatar and Matrix, for example. It shows like different layers of the existence. Is it true or not? So this is for you to decide. But the point is that watching the movies, we live other lives and we broaden our consciousness. We broaden our impression and our like horizons. That's why what I think that almost from each movie you can learn something. And of course for our movies, for movies which we are watching, there is certain rule how they affect us. They can affect us like this. They can give knowledge in different ways. It can impress us. It can the movie also can give us like some intellectual knowledge, and also can give us some emotions. So, and in this way, the movies which impress us very strongly, like horror movies, these are type of movies we cannot really learn from, because sometimes it brings us to the state of the shock. And then after that, we need to get back from the shock and then learn something. But also important, when we watch the movies, we should be conscious. We should be conscious, use our consciousness and analyze the situation around. So my answer is basically from all the movies you can learn, but you need to have a conscious approach. Thank you.
What kind of cartoons or movies you loved to watch in your childhood? And this question I would like to address to this smiling girl, Nina, to you. Just tell you about your favorites.
Okay, my favorite movie, I think everyone knows this movie, Harry Potter. I read it all books, all series of books. So, and I read it even now in English. Every book I read almost four times, and all film I read 5 or more times. So I think it's my favorite film, and I think all children love it, and even adults also love this movie. But I also want to tell about my favorite movie. It's called Into the Wild. Maybe someone watched this movie. I like it very much because it teaches us about a real sense of people, about how we learn who we are, and the hero of this movie wants to ask himself what he really wants to do in his life. So in order to find the answer for this question, we should go out from our comfort zone and search for us to find ourselves, who we are in our life.
Thank you. If you could film a movie, what would it be? About what it would be? And with what people of your life, or maybe you would just ask somebody to film in your movie. What kind of movie it would be? We have Graham? Okay.
It's a very appropriate question because I'm actually filming movies now. And the movies we've been talking about have all been fictional movies, have all been making it up. And the thing that impresses me so strongly in this day and age is that people who make videos, and I think particularly of some young women in America, Lauren Southern, a woman named Rebecca, I just heard one named Cheryl, who comment on this world situation, are so sane, so incredibly grounded, talk such common sense. I just love it. I look forward to their next videos. But yet, what they say flies in the face of everything that is fictional, that is out there. And my belief is that, going back to Ivan, that people really love the myths of this age, and they shy away from the truth. These people who tell the truth have a hard time. And I particularly admire some of these women, I'll name them, Blonde in the Belly of the Beast, a woman named Rebecca something, and Laura Southern, who are women who are able to talk honestly about the situation in the United States, particularly because they're Americans, but in the world in general, talk honestly. And the people in politics hate them. YouTube and others are trying to shut them down because they hate hearing the truth. But these women are brave, articulate, and more power to them. They have found a medium to tell what needs to be told. Thank you.
How do you prefer to watch movies? At home or at the cinema? And I would like to ask Dima, would you like to answer the question?
I will try, but not judge me, okay? Cinema or at home?
Yeah, what do you prefer?
I think better is the cinema, of course, is a big screen, yes, thanks. And good quality of film. But very bad things, it's other people. Of course, at home you can do it more fastly. But I think the better way is at home and big screen, something like that.
Former member of this club, Toastmaster, but last my visit here was 1.5 years ago, before maternity leave. And now it's cool day. I go here to take some inspiration. Really, when you started to ask questions, I'm trying to remember when last time I can really to see the film. Anywhere in the cinema, or at home. Really, I have no time, but I feel that every my day is like a movie, with color, with battles with a child, with fire, with cries and detectives, every day. And in a movie, what we want to find in a movie when we see it? We try to take the motivation, and everyone try to find something to change our future lives. And when one professor asking to people seamless people who cannot see, how do you think? What is the pose of power of motivation? Pose. How do you think? People who cannot see the word and people, he shows this pose. And really, this pose of motivation is what we try to find in every day in our lives. And today I found out this is my bag. You know what is? Just toys. But these toys show us that each our day is colorful. And only we can to make the colors, only we is artists of our life. We draw it every day, and let's our everyday be like a movie. So, thank you.
And I watched a very spooky movie, Monster as a Ghost, and I was alone at home, and after it I heard some squeeze. It was very loud, and it's like and it was the door opening. I was so afraid, and I decided that I'm not watching movies alone, very spooky movies alone at home. I would like to ask you, if you have, if you watched spooky movie, what is your spookiest movie? Or the most that you were so impressed or just terrified? If you have something, maybe this guy?
Wow. Spooky movies. I actually don't watch. Spooky movies. They just don't scare me. The documentaries. Some of the documentaries about some of the people that actually. I saw a documentary for Halloween. Right, for Halloween. I started watching this documentary on Netflix, and it was about it was these people sitting around and talking, and so this family moves into a house. They lose a lot of money. They're not so rich anymore. It wasn't a house. It was a residence in one apartment in a big bunch of houses, and as they're moving in, they say the neighbors, they look at them, and they sort of give them a strange look. And so then the son, he notices that when he closes the doors to the closet, he comes back and they're open again. So he keeps on closing them. And soon enough, he starts hearing noises from the closet. And then the doors fly open, and how do you know who's telling the truth? There's plenty of people in mental institutions who, are talking to God, how do we really know who's telling the truth? But you sort of get the feeling when somebody's telling the truth. And so next thing, there's a woman, and she's in a noose, and she's hanging in the closet, and the doors fly open, and she says, I want you, I want you. And then, it goes from bad to worse, we would say. The horror is cranked up. They crank up the horror, whatever. And so she starts like coming down to the floor and crawling towards him and everything. And so he tells, he starts telling his at first, immediately, he starts telling his parents, you know, he starts telling his classmates, he starts telling his teachers, and what do you think happens? You know? Of course, oh, you had a bad dream, you know, you had a nightmare. It's like, it's nothing. And his father was authoritarian father, you know, and just would slap him, you know, like, be a man, you know, like. And so these things are happening to him. If you believe in ghosts and all these things, you know, if you believe, all these things are happening to him and no one will believe him. And then one time he's taking a bath and he looks in the water and it's all blood. And the mother comes in and cleans up the blood. And this goes on for 7 years, right? And so they get more money and they are able to leave this residence. And the maintenance man who fixes the various things around the residence, he says, "Oh, I'm surprised you lasted that long, you know." Does that mean I'm out of time? What? Oh, that means I'm out of time? I don't know how it works. Okay, I'll wrap it up real quick. And so, yes, 3 days before this family moved into this apartment, a woman killed her 2 children in the bathtub and then hung herself in the closet. And nobody told them this for 7 years. And I just ended up with this. He said, "I always thought places were haunted, not people." And so they went somewhere else, and after a few years, this woman shows up again, you know, and has been following him all his life. She shows up every, 5-10 years and tries to get him. So, spooky movies, no, because I know it's fiction, but, spooky
You picked a very good topic because it's one that is so rich that you will have no trouble giving a second speech on the same topic. So let me go into it. You talked about how myths are archetypes of human behavior and human life. And you talked about something this is something anthropologists talk about, that societies evolve through phases. There's, in the tribal phase, you believe in the authority and the gods, that with revenge, because there is no law and order. In the second phase, by the way, you evolve into a more static society, such as the Christian society, in which you believe in a God who tells you how to live, and you believe in police and law and order and so on. And then there's a third phase, which is exemplified by modern America and Europe, which is kind of chaos. Everybody on his own. The purpose of the myths is to keep us away from that, and I think that you have a very good second speech that you can draw from this material. Now let me give you a bit of counsel. When you open your speech, don't tell us that you didn't have time to prepare it. That should be for us to guess, not for you to share with us. Because your speeches are pretty good, and you speak from a great deal of knowledge and authority, whether or not you really had time to put speech in. So the speech is what it is. And we're so happy to have you back in the club. I'll say this for everybody. Some of us have more time to prepare than others. We all enjoy it, so be who you are. So let me close in saying, we'll look forward, I can say this, to your second speech on probably the same topic in order to see what you can improve. And my take would be organize it a bit more and put a little bit more of the theme of our story of our meeting today, the movie, put more substance of fiction in it to give more examples. Wonderful speech. Thank you.